The Rail is a burly 27.5 trail bike from Colorado-based newcomers Revel Bikes. Built around the once-forgotten Canfield linkage, the 165 rear 170 front rail offers an exceptionally efficient pedaling platform with enough squish to let you get rowdy. We were impressed with its attention to detail, lively trail manners, and its ability to find the fun on every Park City classic from NCS to the Crest.
Yeah, if I hadn't looked at the numbers, I wouldn't have believed it. It rides so efficiently and so fast, and then it's almost like you get bonus travel on the way down.
Yeah, I used all the travel.
Oh yeah.
Right, and enjoyed every bit of it, really, every single bit of it. God, it was just a lovely bike to ride downhill. And I didn't feel like I paid much of a penalty on the way up.
So Revel uses Canfield's suspension design. Their linkage is essentially a parallel link design that has found sort of a golden ratio of this perfect 100% anti-squat. I rode the Rascal, the shorter travel 29-inch bike over the summer, and that concept didn't feel like it paired as well with a short travel, quick get up and go 29er as it did with this beast. Like it didn't feel inefficient at all, especially because you can just rely on a little bit of compression damping to keep you supported if you wanted to get up and go. But it was really supple and had good traction on the climbs for a 27.5 bike.
Yeah, we talked about how this linkage is really designed to work with this amount of travel. That's where it really shines. And I feel like, yeah, you didn't pay any kind of a penalty.
The Canfield balance formula gives you that perfect near 100% anti-squat, isolating pedaling input from terrain input. It works by directing the chain line through the center of curvature at every point in the travel, rather than focusing only on the instant center. This makes for a flawlessly supportive pedaling platform, even when the suspension is doing its thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at the kinematics of it, right, and it's pretty nerdy. It really is, but it's cool, and that kind of plays into the bike company themselves. They are self-proclaimed bike nerds, and it shows in some of the small details and the touches associated with this bike, and the spec and attention to detail they've done with the frame. You know, it does have that sort of high-end feel to it. You feel like you're on something special.
Right, and that's worth mentioning because this is the first offering from this company. They're a really new brand. They come from the same guy who does Y Cycles. It's a small titanium brand, but yeah, I think that putting this bike in that context makes it even more impressive because it is that good.
And their model is a consumer direct model where you can pick your dropper post spec and length up to a 200 millimeter reverb, along with some things we've seen from other brands. You can pick wheels, you can pick fork, you can pick shock.
Yeah.
So
how many drop downs were there on the menu? Like we went through the whole experience, like if we were going to buy this bike, and there were like 7 or 8 little drop downs you could pick different options for, and you know, the whole experience was really clean compared to some that we've seen from direct to consumer brands.
It's not necessarily the greatest value if you're looking straight dollar to pound.
Right, that's what we also looked at, was just the price comparison, and it's definitely clear this is more of a high-end market boutique type brand.
Let's clarify one quick thing. They are definitely direct to consumer. There's no mistake in that, but they are partnering with specific shops, and they are selling through some of these shops also.
And they do a bunch of demos as well.
Indeed, and so that's what separates them a little bit, you know, and that you've had this bike, you've gotten one out of the box, and that experience was also very good. And excuse me, not a box, you're right, you're going to correct me, but they shipped them in an Evoque travel case, which is spot on, right? They're a very eco-conscious company, and they're trying to reduce waste and carbon waste. Sorry, not carbon waste. Cardboard waste.
I was looking, they are actually trying to reduce their carbon waste. They're trying to go for like recyclable resins, right? But,
that's right, yeah.
So that's like a goal, but they're not quite there yet.
Not quite.
But like reducing cardboard and using these recyclable bags and recycling most of their waste material, like it's a brand that I think a lot of people would feel good about getting behind.
Just looking at the bike silhouette, picking up its 31.25 pounds, nothing was telling me that this was a 165, 170 bike.
Right.
And part of that is its maneuverability, which I think I can chalk up partially to its moderate geometry.
It's moderate, definitely. Yeah. It's not on the edge of anything. It's tried and true for that style.
It's got a 430 rear, a 65 head tube. It's not gonna be the slackest bike, but it doesn't feel like you're gonna go over the bars either. It doesn't feel like you're on like a little cross-country rig. It felt to me a lot like the old Bronson, which to me put it in this really awesome range of being able to take it in the bike park, but also take it out on a really long day. You know, I wouldn't feel like it would be holding me back on a long climbing day.
Did you feel like your pace was off, either one of you two, on this bike in comparison to the long travel 29ers were?
Definitely in comparison to the long travel 29ers, I would put the climbing in the short travel 29er category almost.
The one thing that we did think about a little bit when we're looking at their two offerings is that there isn't a long travel 29er option. So they're segmenting this like we did a few years ago, where you put the long travel on the smaller wheels and the short travel on the bigger wheels, right?
Did you guys miss the bigger wheels on this?
I think a diehard 29er fan will. I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't prefer this bike with 29-inch wheels. I mean, but that's me. I think somebody who is choosing 27.5-inch wheels, the package that this bike brings you really caters to their strengths. The moderate geo, the lightweight. It is a pick it up and put it where you want it to be kind of a bike, but with the travel to get you out of trouble or get you into trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, having ridden all these long travel 29ers this week and medium travel 29ers, it was like this great nostalgia feeling of like, oh, I can really flick this thing around. Like, and I think that we shouldn't totally write off 27.5 yet.
Something that we all sensed, we had like this moment when we first sat down to talk about this of, Lydia, you said it. Yep.
You were checking your bank account. You're like, oh no, I want one of these. I know you were.
I was thinking long-term relationship already with this bike, right?
Yeah,
so I think every rider knows this feeling. I don't know the word for it. We're trying to figure out how to spell it, but it's basically that feeling when you're in like a really chunky rock garden and the bike just purrs. And it's hard to find bikes that respond that way and can climb like this bike climbs.
I think that comes from this combination of a generally supportive feeling suspension, but ample enough suspension that you can plow and purr through whatever you want, and you're really going to be okay.
I think you guys said something about wanting some more volume spacers though, right?
Yeah, and we found that it's just got like one little, I don't know, you probably know the volume. It
had one spacer in it, which leaves a lot of room. Okay, so that's good to know.
For you to dial it in.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do is open up a can and find that it's full already, because then you're very limited, and that wasn't the case with this bike. So the tuning options are wide open. Yeah.
What really set this bike apart was the range of trails that it opened up. We felt as comfortable hucking it off drops as we did pedaling it up the road back to the house. And it didn't seem to compromise in any category. It's an impressive first offering from a new brand, and a nice reminder of how awesome 27.5 wheels can be. See the full review on bikemag.com.